Most people think it was the islands, Las Cinco Muertes, where modern dinosaurs originated. But no, not true. It was in the minds of ambitious visionaries. Hammond, Lockwood, where they dreamed, chaos followed. This estate was ground zero for that fateful dream, and ground zero for the dinosaurs' entrance into the world at large. Well, now it's quite a mess, and you're gonna need to clean it up. I can't say that I'm surprised.
There's a pretty huge mess to deal with. Jeez, what happened here?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. History, repeating itself. Look at those enclosures. The dinosaurs running loose. You know, this was another attempt at controlling something uncontrollable.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jurassic World Evolution 3's campaign mode, wrapping up our campaign playthrough. So this is going to be the final episode of the campaign in Lockwood Estates here. We start with a lagoon, and I don't know why we need it. There's no dinosaurs in it, so it's just a wasted space. I'm going to save some money on that. We're going to need to make this into a 5-star park here eventually, but to start, everything is broken. So we need to get our maintenance team in here. We'll get everything else squared away to start. And to begin, I'm not going to try to make any of this look pretty or look good at all. We're just going to put the buildings we need in here, connect them, and then try to contain some of the chaos that we've already got going on here. Let's see. This aviary is way too small. I can't remember how many I need for Quetzalcoatlus, but we're going to put like a 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more than 6 in here. And then we'll get a outpost here to scan and take care of all of our, I guess I can't re-sign it right now.
Thank goodness you're here.
So we'll get in the
Billy?
helicopter, start trying
Are
to
you
tranquilize
okay?
some of these dinosaurs.
I'm close by, helping people evacuate, but there's no
Even
time.
though I suck
I tracked Extinction Now
at
here, only to find it like
using
this.
the tranquilizer.
Please, bring this site under control. I'll find you later.
Okay. I'm guessing they've been pillaging tech from the manor to fuel whatever they were trying to do here. And Lily doesn't know that her voice disguise thing stopped working, does she?
I don't think so. She probably panicked and called for help on the first comm she could grab. Looking at this site, whatever tech was changing her voice must have been broken.
This is all a lot to process. Wait, Kira? Are you okay?
Yes, of course. I can handle this. Lily doesn't matter right now. Dealing with this dangerous situation would look excellent on Din's record. So let's focus on the task at hand.
Alright, we'll get all these taken care of. New update idea. Give me an upgrade where if I use the tranquilizer and I suck at it, I can just hit them once for some of these larger dinosaurs and flying reptiles, and then they're tranquilized. New thought for us. But anyways, we have power going now. So I'm just going to assign the helicopter to tranquilize all of these. Got all of our herbivores over here, and Tyrannosaurus and Spinosaurus. And the fences, the enclosures over here are horrible, because no one thought those through. So we're going to use some rock barriers. We're going to create 3 larger spaces around here. So we're going to put Tyrannosaurus on the far right. We'll put Spinosaurus in the far left. And then we'll put the rest of the herbivores in that middle section. But the enclosures that we have here, we're not going to use those because those are all way too small. And then eventually the idea is going to be put some fences on gates in here so we can actually go check on these dinosaurs. But the idea, I think, will be that we'll leave the space on the outside as like wild territory for dinosaurs, kind of like we would for like Biosyn, or at least where they're at right now. And then we'll, because we only need one dinosaur in the actual park part of this to get to my goal of having every single dinosaur in the campaign. So that's going to be Majungasaurus, which will be the only dinosaur in the actual quote-unquote park of this, and the rest of this we will put in the back here to just fill in to get us to 5 stars. Because one dinosaur is not going to get us to 5 stars. Let's get rid of these. Alright, we need to put a couple of things while we're waiting on getting the dinosaurs moved around. We'll get some things in here to make some money, because I'm going to be hurting for some cash here in a minute. And then we'll eventually come back. I'll come back to this park. I think this will be the one that we'll come back to a couple times, because I'll still have plenty of space as we get new dinosaurs every single month. And then as we get other DLCs, we'll add those to the campaign. And I think a lot of those will end up coming into this park here. There's still a few spaces in the other parks. I'm thinking Kauai and Indonesia. There's a few that we can actually put more dinosaurs in, but for now, long way of saying we're only going to fit one dinosaur in the actual park here, and then we'll come back to it again a couple times as we get back to it. Alright, and then we'll wrap up this, get Quetzalcoatlus happy. We just need to put the fish feeder in here. And I'm not going to add another Quetzalcoatlus.
How are you getting on over there? Did I miss any survivors?
Lily, you betrayed us. You betrayed me. Why? How could you do that?
I'm sorry, Kira, my young raptor.
You know, I don't think sorry will cut it. How could you be so callous to those animals? To just cut them out of our ecologies when they only just arrived?
They did not just arrive. You make it sound like some kind of miracle, but those creatures do not belong in this time. Their struggle to adapt should be evidence enough. Nature would have proven me right, but you rejected nature. You thought that these dangerous, desperate animals could just happily live alongside humans. We cannot coexist.
You used to love dinosaurs, Lily. You were there at Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Yes, and I couldn't stop them falling apart. What does that say about how dangerous these creatures are? I'm sorry, Kira, truly, but you are misguided.
Misguided? Misguided? Lily, to be so close to self-awareness and yet so far. Newsflash, this whole Extinction Now operation was trying to control nature just as much as Hammond ever did. Except you, in your self-assigned wisdom, thought that destruction was the answer. It's a clumsy tool to wield on the best of days.
Turn yourself in, Lily. This is over.
You know I can't do that. I hope I see you again, under better circumstances.
Her comms are out. But we have a name and a face now. We'll put out alerts and bring Extinction Now to justice.
Regardless of Lily's beliefs, I want to reassure you that doing nothing for the dinosaurs would have been the true crime. You should all be proud of your work.
That's right. And I know I can be all doom and gloom, businesslike and serious, but I do believe in our cause, and I'm pretty fond of all of you as well. Great work, everyone.
After all your work, the dinosaurs finding a place in nature seems more achievable than ever. But the place they find might not be what you expect. Extinction Now's predictions may yet come to pass. The dinosaurs may struggle. Human greed may rear its ugly, exploitative little head. One thing is for sure, nature and the dinosaurs will find their own balance, and this world will change yet again. A rebirth, if you will. It's going to be delicate, uncertain, chaotic, but thanks to people like you, not without hope.
Okay, and that is the end of the campaign, technically. We're going to come back. There's still a little bit more to get done because we haven't gotten this to 5 stars yet. And that'll be our next task to do here to officially finish the campaign. So we need to get 10 contracts completed. We need to get enough profit. That'll be easy. Number of animals. That'll be pretty straightforward. Number of natural. But we're going to get it. So we're going to put a bunch of dinosaurs here. We're going to have them naturally breed, have some juveniles here. That's going to get us through the rest of this. Pretty straightforward. We might have to add a few dinosaurs to that back space that we're going to use as like a natural barrier to like the actual park. And we'll put a bunch of dinosaurs in there, and then we'll get Majungasaurus in here as our actual dinosaur.
Guess what? The lawyers looking after Lockwood Estate got in touch, and Kira wasn't around to answer the phone. Now, long story short, they're impressed. With us, with Din, with you. They've asked us to be the guardians of this place. Not a bad outcome, right? Being a loyal and charitable boss, I am gifting you the land. You earned it. You do still work for me, though, so feel free to build something that makes me look good. But, Kira would kill me if I didn't say that we do still have clients elsewhere. And, fair warning, there might still be a few Extinction Now bad eggs out there. Either way, we should polish up those parks until they glitter like a golden Cabot Finch bust. But there I go, talking about the plans for my future penthouse, huh? So, here's the target. 5 stars across every site, got it? I'd say good luck, but I would make it sound like anything less than perfection was an option. I really want that penthouse.
Great, so we need to get 5 stars in every park. We've already got 5 stars in the first 9, so it's just the last one here to clean this up and finish up our campaign. And in appropriate fashion, I cannot actually just ask the capture team to tranquilize these. I gotta do them myself. And I forgot that I need to actually have some kind of a enclosure or viewing gallery to actually start getting people in the park, so we're gonna add that in and start doing our contracts. And now we got people in here. That first one was really easy because it didn't have any coverage technically before.
Efficiency like you've shown can only be the
one
marker
contract
of great
down.
ambition.
9 to go.
I think you and I share that quality.
If we have anything with photography, that is likely where I'm going to gravitate to for any of these. So let's pop in. We're going to take another flight to get one more of these contracts. While we're doing these, I guess this is a good opportunity to take a moment and just reflect on the entire campaign. I thought the campaign was good. I really enjoyed it. I think it's good to go around the globe. I think there's a couple of spots that we didn't actually get a chance to go to that might have been more fun. There's nothing in South America. There's nothing in Africa.
Oh, excellent.
Nothing in Australia. So there's a couple of
I can save my
continents.
excuses for why this task didn't get done for another day. Great work.
There's a couple continents we weren't able to get to yet. That'll be nice to do maybe in the future. There's a lot of playing into the Rebirth storyline that obviously they weren't able to use because Rebirth wasn't out when the game... No, they weren't ready to put the Rebirth stuff out when the game came out. So that'll be something I'm hoping that when the Rebirth DLC comes through that they have some kind of addition to the campaign. I don't know if those actually translate directly to the campaign. It can just be an add-on or if it's going to be a separate campaign all on its own. Personally, I'd like it to just be an add-on to all of it. Because already right now when we get the DLCs and we buy those, or we get these new dinosaurs, those can all be added into the campaign. But I don't develop these things. I don't know how complicated that is to actually have something like that added. But if it could, that'd be great. Alright, why aren't you actually tranquilized? There we go.
Mission accomplished.
Anyways, so we're gonna start in the back of this park. We're gonna put all of our... I'm gonna have some kind of facility here with all of our ranger teams and our maintenance, and everything else is gonna be in the back here to wrap up. This is where we'll do all the rest of the science research, everything that we need to do to fully research and get everything that we need to do. We're gonna have our expedition teams. They're going to get us to 100% for every single dinosaur. So those will be things that we'll take care of. We don't need to do a whole video on doing those. That would not be very entertaining or fun. But we're going to go to that later. So those will all be completed for anything we want to do in the future. This is unrelated, but why can't I move the arrival point? I've never tried to move an arrival point in the campaign, and this one, I really want to. I want to move it closer to where I've already moved everything else for the park. Anyways, alright, we'll just change up the entrance of it since we can't move the arrival. We'll play with this a little bit. And again, this park is not going to be fully completed today, but we are going to at least get one dinosaur into the park, and then the rest of it we'll add to as we get more and more dinosaurs added every single month to the campaign. So we'll be back here in the future. I have some other thoughts to create my own campaign and do some things that are just different, going to some other locations or just creating maps for some other spaces. I'm thinking specifically in South America, in Africa, maybe Canada, some other spots that we weren't able to actually get to in this. Maybe we go back to some spaces that were in Evolution 2 since we have those maps in Sandbox. And maybe create our own campaign of sorts as we continue to go. Because again, campaign mode is my favorite to go into. I really enjoy it. I like having a little bit more immersion in a space where we maybe have some of our own restraints that we play with to make these not like every single Sandbox park has to be exactly the same. So that'll be something to look forward to. I don't exactly know what that's going to look like. I'm going to take some time to think on that, and then we'll probably do that in the coming months once I've had some time to sit on that. But let's see, we're getting through our objectives, our contracts that we need to get done here. We'll slowly get through the rest of those. Let's see what we got now. We're gonna add an upgrade. We can do upgrades. Upgrades are easy now that we're actually making some money in this park. I think looking back on the campaign, I like the way that I went through it. I feel like if I look back on it, there's some other things that I would change. I think namely, and I wish that I'd done this before. If I'd played through this before actually doing it, I would have changed it. Going to Biosyn first in the last three, I think that was a mistake. I think it would have been better to go to Malta first and then go to Biosyn, because Malta is where we get the...
We're both busy people, so let me be direct. I have a task I'd like completing, and I think you're the one for the job.
Malta is where we get the dinosaur market, and when we go to Biosyn, I can't add any dinosaurs unless I use the market. So this is the last episode in what I'm going to call like this season of the campaign, so I'm not going to go back to it now. Maybe I will wish for fun a little sometime, but it would have been nice to go to Biosyn.
You're turning out to be someone that I can truly rely on. And my trust is not something that many have managed to earn.
All right, thank you, Kira. And actually go in and put some different dinosaurs, because when I went there, I was just stuck with what we had there, which was fine. I was able to make everything work and hold Tyrannosaurus in its own little space. If I could just like put my own dinosaurs, I would have felt more comfortable leaving this space open and seeing if Tyrannosaurus destroyed the entire ecosystem, or if it was able to live around the other dinosaurs and not wipe out all of the others that we had in there. This amenity here, really freaking cool. As like an excuse for an aquarium. I'm gonna move it on the outside of this gate space for our facilities and all the staff. But this aquarium, found it going through here. Amazing. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. Holy banana pancakes, this thing is awesome. flying reptiles of the sea. Like, this is just super creative. I can't even imagine the time to take to do that. And then we'll put a hatchery over here if we're going to put... because we need to get Majungasaurus in here. And then also, I'm going to throw a few different dinosaurs in the back here. Oh yeah, we moved Tyrannosaurus and Spinosaurus away because where the Majungasaurus are coming in is also where Tyrannosaurus was. So Tyrannosaurus and Spinosaurus are going to be competing for territory here. I don't know who's going to make it out of there, but we're going to let them figure it out and see who's going to be the apex predator in the back here. We'll see. Maybe eventually I'll open this up and then let this dinosaur go around the other juveniles or the other herbivores. Haven't used the market. I'm gonna try to use it. No, I never get like bad, like I didn't get sabotage using the market. So I'm gonna use a really bad rating and just see what that does. We need to put a landing low delivery zone here.
Well, ain't that a perfect example of dishonest agents still at work?
Well, ain't that a perfect example of exactly what I wanted? Kind of. Didn't really want baryonyx in here. I was kind of hoping just a random dinosaur. To just kind of see what we could add. But baryonyx is going to be...
to welcome a Suchomimus to the park.
Oh, Suchomimus. Suchomimus is going to be a problem too. So, we're going to have to get rid of these. Remove them. But I thought I'd heard before, like, some of these juveniles, if you, like, leave them around other dinosaurs that they're not normally comfortable with, but they're juveniles, they start to get comfortable with them. So I'm gonna stick around with the juvenile Suchomimus and see what that does. But the rest of the adult Suchomimus, I'm gonna have to probably rewild at this point. Because I'm concerned they're gonna get all of the other animals here. And I'm supposed to get to 65 different animals, or just 65 animals. So these guys here are gonna have to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Suchomimus to the park.
Alright, let's get these guys tranquilized, and then we will rewild them. You are getting hurt. T-Rex is not doing well in this competing for territory with Spinosaurus right now. Her rewilding is apparently expensive. I've done some rewilding, but man, that is going to eat into everything. So we will rewild those two. It is expensive, so you will stay in the park. And then we'll have to eventually... Well, let's see if we can make you happy. Let's put some deep water in here. Not go too crazy. And then we'll get T-Rex moving over here. We got to get you taken care of with the medical team. Let's get you squared away. And I don't have scientists. Shoot, you'd think I'd like played this before. I don't have scientists, so I need to get a few of them. Maybe one or two of them. Let's see, who's got welfare? I need a good welfare doctor. Scientist. Well, we got you. You're probably going to be my pick here, but the problem is I don't have enough money for you. So we'll get you, we'll take a couple photos, we'll get him hired. We're going to upgrade him to 9, which is what we need. We are in debt now, which means we need to go back and take some photos. A lot of photos. Similar to what we did last time in the Azores Islands, where you took a bunch of photos to pay for everything. We're going to do the same exact thing in here. it's nighttime, so it's a little harder to see them. This would be a good excuse to like look in here and see what it's looking like. We still got a ways to go with getting dinosaurs in here. Yeah, see, like, you have enough of a view, it's just not close enough, even though I can see it. Let's fix that. Alright. Barely enough money to pay for getting Tyrannosaurus squared away. So we're not hurting for cash, we're just being reckless with our spending right now. Let's get our appeal up to 15%, so we're going to create a balloon tour. It's going to go around all of our park, and hopefully when it sees all of our dinosaurs, that will get us our 15% appeal. So we'll just take this around everywhere. And yeah, this is... I don't know if I love this design for the balloon tour, so I might take that out eventually. But for now, it'll have to do. Alright. Our Tyrannosaurus is ready to go. Or will be ready to go. Alright, let's get this guy over here. And then it was too expensive to actually rewild all the Suchomimus, so we put 2 of our adult Suchomimus
At this
in
rate,
with the other carnivores.
Home to the world's most efficient park manager to the brochure. Nicely done.
Alright, so we got all these, then our Suchomimus aren't happy with us. We'll continue to get more juveniles in here. Or continue. We haven't put many juveniles in here. We'll get some juveniles going here. We're going to change. We're going to get a new contract. Can I get something with photos? No, I can't. And then I do not like where the aviary is. So we're going to move it. We're going to put it up here kind of next to our aquarium. See, there we go. Getting our profits up.
Efficiency like you've shown can only be the marker of great ambition.
That is really not liking me right now.
I think you and I share that quality.
Alright, we'll get this taken care of and expanded, and then we'll worry about moving the... eventually we'll move Quetzalcoatlus. Can we hear new functionality? It's pretty easy, so we're going to do that one. Anything to do with like adding new upgrades or new things like that are really easy contracts. This is just a good reminder that whenever you don't have a contract, just get a new contract. Quick way to make some money.
Brilliant work. There's a reason we all rely on your expertise.
Alright, we got those squared away. Let's put some more like trees in the back right here. And then we'll put in our like check-in spot covered in rocks. We'll use that as an inspiration. And we are getting juvenile dinosaurs. Parasaurolophus, who is used a ton in the campaign. Parasaurolophus, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, probably the 3 most used in the campaign here. I think used a little bit too much. I think Tyrannosaurus comes up like 3 times in 9 parks without me having to do much with it. Alright, so our Suchomimus are acting up. They're not happy. Well, that makes sense because they've got these ones have other carnivores they don't want to be around. So we're going to tranquilize them and try to rewild them. Hopefully we have enough money now to rewild them. They're not happy. And our juvenile Suchomimus also here is acting up. I'm trying to get out. So this experiment failed. Or at least I'm being impatient with it. Alright, we'll move the Quetzalcoatlus over. We'll get rid of this here aviary. And then we didn't get to our Suchomimus fast enough, so they were hunted down by our T-Rex and
You ever heard of a
Spinosaurus.
keystone species? It's one that has a disproportionate
Whoops.
impact on their ecosystem compared to other organisms. You, my friend, are this company's keystone species.
All right. Let's go back. We'll clean up the new Quetzalcoatlus enclosure. Because we do not like it in the middle of everything. Yeah, and I'm not going to add another Quetzalcoatlus in here. I'm kind of hoping that eventually we get a new flying pterosaur in the game. And then maybe we'll use this kind of enclosure after the Quetzalcoatlus is no longer with us. We will put in a new pterosaur in there. We'll get a couple of these in here because I need to actually do a little more expeditions to get Majungasaurus here in Madagascar. So we'll get that squared away, and then we're going to need to eventually get them out. And again, T-Rex, Spinosaurus, not happy with each other. Still going at it. And I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. I don't have a dog in the fight here. Well, I technically have 2 dinosaurs in the fight here. We're going to tranquilize them both right now because they're getting a little unruly. A little too unruly for the moment. I still like them around for at least a little bit. And then we'll put some more rock on the side of this for our Quetzalcoatlus. And now let's get through all of our 65 dinosaurs. So let's get some dinosaurs in here that actually will just get us a ton of juveniles. So Compsognathus, that is going to be one of ours. We're also going to get Gallimimus and put both of them in here. Work faster and harder. You can get this going quickly. Sure. And also it doesn't hurt my ratings. It's all about the ratings. So let's get those in here. You guys can rest for a minute. And let's get Compsognathus put in the back here because you aren't going to get ticked off by the other herbivores. Let's put some more rock around here. I don't want this to just feel like a very boring aviary on the sides here. So we'll put these built-in, like, a ton of rocks together spots here. I'm not worried about the complexity meter here because we're only going to have one dinosaur in the actual park part of this. And then we'll put some tunnels here, some that we can actually get into.
I spend a lot of time just observing the dinosaurs and making notes on their behavior. I lose hours like that, and that's time lost on my tasks, too.
All right.
Could you help with this one?
Well, I wasn't paying attention well enough, and so our Tyrannosaurus is gone. So Spinosaurus
more impressive we can make this
is the apex predator.
I want this place to shine.
Of the Lockwood Estate. So now we got one carnivore. We have all of our herbivores. They're going to continue to keep having juveniles. And while we're just waiting on some of that, I'm going to start putting in and decorating some of this entrance space. Someone created these repeater stations that are actually rocks. So I'm going to use one of these in the middle of our entrance and our walkway here. Then we'll put some bushes around to just give it a little more greenery. We'll use some green lights in here too, and then some statues to build this out and not get too complicated, but I am going to be able to play a little more in here because I'm not worried about that complexity meter here, which is nice because I have hit that the last couple times.
I couldn't be certain that joining this group would actually lead to helping the dinosaurs, but oh man, am I glad it is. And really, that's mostly down to your good work.
Yes, we got some nests in here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We've got all of our 10 contracts done, so that is squared away. We're like dancing around the profit, which is great. It's really coming down now to juveniles and total dinosaurs, which at this point is more of a waiting game. So we got our Compsognathus having some juveniles, and then we're going to get a ton of Gallimimus as well in our park. And then, yeah, we'll just start putting some more gates and some fences around a lot of these spaces here that maybe aren't open to the public yet, or things that we'll get to later, but we're going to try to enclose a ton of this. So there we go, we got our baby Gallimimus. We'll just get a couple more of those get rolling here. But again, one dinosaur is going in our park, and that is going to be Majungasaurus, who was the most recent one added as a free update in the game this last month. So to do that, we are going to create a fully built out space here for those. So we're going to create this just out of wood and glass and maybe some rock to create. This is a viewing gallery, but I also want it to be like an information station where people can go to learn more about Majungasaurus and then be able to pop in and actually see them. But I also want them to still be able to see it from the side of this. We'll eventually take the fences on the side here and then roll that right up to the side of this. I don't know if that's going to perfectly actually enclose it, so we're going to have the terrain come down a little steep here just to be safe. But again, I am getting more and more comfortable with the modular building and starting to be actually okay with some of these buildings. I think early on, like I would try it and wasn't super thrilled with how they turned out, but the more and more we're getting comfortable with it, the more entertaining it is. I think it's a little frustrating to learn if you've never done it before, and which was my experience, but taking some time and making some really bad buildings or playing with things that were, I mean, this one still is a little boxy, but I think it's at least a good start to something to, I guess, where we're at right now. We'll continue to get better at this as we build more and more parks, and we do some different things with some different locations that we'll create, but really enjoyed the modular building. I think that was a great added touch to Evolution 3 that we didn't have in Evolution 2. So, very happy with that update. I know some people have played other games that have used that, Planet Zoo, and some others that have used those, so they're maybe are a little more familiar with it than I am. But overall, really enjoyed having this extra feature in it and constantly getting it just a little bit better every single day with this this new feature. We haven't had anything confirmed yet, but I am gonna make the assumption that the next dinosaur coming to the to Jurassic World Evolution 3 is gonna be Tyrannosaurus, which is, I think everyone's talking about that because they're expecting to have some kind of a Chaos Theory DLC coming next. So assuming that is the case, Tyrannosaurus will be our next dinosaur we'll add to the park here. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like quite yet, but if anyone has thoughts on what that looks like or what an enclosure like that might look like or what some inspiration might be for that, feel free to put that in the comments here. Would always love to get a little bit of feedback as we're going through these. That being said, if you did like this video, feel free to hit that like button or that subscribe button. We're getting a little bit better every single day, and all of that support means a ton while we're figuring out YouTube and also just figuring out building out all these parks for the campaign. Keep going and getting this park squared away. Our movement in the nest for some dinosaur. Another baby Gallimimus. Gallimimus and Compsognathus are carrying. They're carrying us for us.
Even after all this time, you continue to impress me. What you've done here is no simple thing. Taking the mess that it was and transforming it into an undeniable success. There was a time that Lily could have appreciated your incredible work too. Maybe she will again, one day. For now, you'll have to settle for my heartfelt gratitude. So really, truly, thank you. Now, I'm sure there's plenty to be done elsewhere. As you were.
Actually, there's not.
Look at this. 5 stars all around the globe. Wow. Well, I got to admit, I did not have the highest of hopes when you started this journey, but look where we are. I'm telling you, so few would be able to take the notion of coexistence with dinosaurs to this level. And fewer still could do it under the pressure and chaos that you have experienced. Well, the future is a great mystery, yes, but you've certainly paved the way for a brighter one. It may not sound it, but I mean this quite sincerely. Bravo.
I don't know why I thought he was going to say brava in this, but okay. We have 5 stars for this park, 5 stars for every single park in the campaign now, so for all intents and purpose, our park is, like, we could be done with the entire campaign now. We are not, though, because we're going to add this last dinosaur here. So we've added every single dinosaur from Jurassic World Evolution 3 to our campaign. And we are just going to clean up some of this. We're going to dig in a little bit here. We're going to put some thin in there. And again, yeah, this is going to be Majungasaurus's quick enclosure that we will play with here. So, I haven't used... We're going to use a little bit of rock here to get this going. One thing that I haven't used a ton, actually, and I'm a little disappointed I didn't use a lot of it, is the large cement blocks for, like, the visitor center. We didn't use a ton of those here, so I'm going to try to use a few of those to build, like, a barrier, if I can find it, on the outside of this between the guests and our dinosaur. So we're going to start putting that together here. When I hear things in the campaign here about, like, Lily potentially, you know, liking this later, or all the stuff about rebirth, I do want to see an extension of the campaign. And I didn't have any of the expansions to Evolution 1 or Evolution 2, so I don't know if the campaigns actually, like, rolled into each other. But if we could do that, I think that would be really cool. But generally, not a lot of notes. I thought the campaign was really good. I still have my one major gripe with the campaign, which is that I still want to get that cinematic when you get to every park, even afterwards, where it has that, like, flyby camera view that we got in Evolution 1. We didn't get it. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed with something like that. That would have been a really cool feature to have if I could be really picky. But overall, not too mad at getting what we had here. So 10 different maps. I know that's a lot. Different locations. Those are great. Broken into 3 different spaces. I thought that made a ton of sense. There's not a lot in the southern hemisphere, though. So we missed, again, would have been nice to have some stuff in South America, Africa, Australia. So I'm thinking about creating about some other campaigns and some different restraints. I don't know what those will look like, but if anyone has ideas on what would be a fun, like, addition or add-on, different places that would be cool to go to or to create, let me know. If anyone actually creates parks like that, I don't know if someone sees this and wants to see me just kind of create a park in a different location that they've already built. Put that in the comments. Let's try something a little different. If there's a space that you've, like, built out or something that you really were passionate about wanting to create something that felt real, let's try it. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not going to promise it's going to be perfect, but I definitely would like to take a swing at it. So let's have some fun in a little bit. I'm going to take a break from the campaign for a minute and finish up with the rest of the challenges, because I think I have, like, half the challenge mode that I haven't quite completed yet. So we'll get all the statues for that. And then we'll get into the maybe another round of different alternate campaigns or something. I don't know. I haven't fully settled on that yet. But we'll see what that looks like. All right, we'll add a couple more bushes into the side of this here. We're going to cover up our carnivore feeders, which is, like, my number one thing that I like to do with any, maybe it's not number one, but it's definitely up there, things that I want to do for every single one of these parks. We're moving fast here, so our Majungasaurus already in here. We'll put some dead trees in here. And if Majungasaurus is supposed to be potentially cannibal, or have cannibal tendencies, let's put some skeletons in here. Let's put some dinosaur bones in here. Let's put the bottom of the jaws here. Let's put a tail in here. Let's fix this. Put a rock in here to make this work. But yeah, this will be like a very quick run through of our Majungasaurus enclosure. Doesn't need to be perfect. We'll get some rocks throughout. But this is our park right now. It's not going to be done because we still have tons to add as we get more and more dinosaurs to the campaign over the next couple months here. in years. We'll see how long they get those. I know we have to add there's going to be a ton of things added into it. But we'll just drive through the first little bit of this. We'll get out of our staff space and get into what might be the traditional part of the park where people actually, guests would want to come and look at those things. No one wants to go see the facilities, the maintenance teams and those things over there. But you can drive by, almost get hit by well, I guess we're the crazy maintenance driver right now, but a ranger station. And then we'll just take a quick drive over to where see, these are our like lights and everything that are a little more green. But our Majungasaurus enclosure is done. This is the last of our park here. The last dinosaur of the campaign. So we've got them all in here. Every single dinosaur is now in our Jurassic World Evolution 3 campaign. If you've watched any of these videos, even like just this one, thank you so much for watching and supporting. If you enjoyed this, again, feel free to hit that like button or that subscribe button. If you have ideas on how to elevate these parks, how to make these better, things that would just improve this, put those in the comments. I want all these parks to be living and things that constantly can be edited and updated and evolve over time. And so I will eventually, not now, but eventually we'll come back to some of these parks and add to them. This is the one that most likely we'll see more often as we come back into this campaign. But there will be moments to go to some of these other ones that we've been in. Indonesia, the Sichuan Basin, the Badlands in Montana. We're going to go to a ton of these in the future to add things or to tweak things or to put other dinosaurs in these as they make sense. Everyone does the campaign a little bit different. There are different places that you can visit before others. So would love to hear like what you did. What did you do that you felt like was a good decision going through your campaign playthrough? Hopefully this gave a couple ideas on things for you to do in your playthrough of the campaign. And if not, that's okay too. Maybe you have all these great ideas that you've already been using. Would love to hear about those as well as we, again, constantly get better every single day. Thanks again for all the support. We're going to be back doing some other things in Jurassic World Evolution 3 shortly. So have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next build.